So I think yesterday we discussed on the workflow, right? So we added a run script for the rejection and the approval path to close the request. So we'll talk about checkout and published today. Right, so we added this run script activities. And now we'll talk about this. What is this checkout? And then what is this published? So checkout state, a workflow can be edited only in checkout state. A workflow can be modified only when it is moved to checkout state. If it is in published state, cannot modify the workflow. So some customer is coming up and asking few changes on the workflow. Then what you should do first? You should open the workflow. You should change the status of the workflow to checkout. So checkout state is nothing but the workflow can be edited in checkout state. Without, if you're not checking it out, you cannot edit the workflow. That's the main thing about the checkout state. And one more thing is, once you make the changes in the checkout state, you have to publish it. Without publishing, the changes will not be affected to all the users. For example, right now I checked out this particular workflow, and other users cannot check out this workflow again. Okay, parallelly. Once this is checked out by me, and only I'll be able to edit this workflow. No other user can edit the workflow. So like me, there will be many other developers within the team, right? So once the one of the developer is checking out the workflow and making the changes, other developers cannot check this out. Other developers cannot check this out workflow to make the changes. Only once it is in published state, and then again other user can check this out and then make the changes. Getting it? So only one user can check out. Only one user can check out a workflow at a time. And other things. Just a moment, guys. Right, sorry. So once you make the changes, you have to publish it. Otherwise, other users cannot. Uh, uh, these changes will not be affected to other users. Observe carefully here. I created this workflow. I'll publish it. I can publish this way. Click on proceed. OK. So this is what the published workflow. Now this workflow is ready to be used by any user who is raising a request for our item. Getting it? So any user raising a request to this item will have this workflow applied to that requested item. Getting it? That means this workflow is ready for the usage. Now observe carefully. Who all users have this access to this item. So this item is available for A1 engineering team. Now only these users will be able to use this particular catalog item. So let's check this group members. Go to this group. So these users only will have access to this item. So we can verify. So impersonate with this user. So we already discussed about that available for option. Go to the service portal. Search for our item. Click on request something. Go to peripherals. This is our item, right? Click on this. So this user is raising a request now. Okay. Right. So it's selecting category. Order now. Checkout. So this user is raising a request. So this is a request number. So verify. Search for the request. Open the RATM. So this is what the RATM, right? Now you can see, click on show workflow. So this is what the workflow that got attached to this RATM. Because the workflow is published, okay, the published workflow is attached onto this RATM. Okay, the published workflow is attached onto this RATM. Now, for example, this is the latest workflow. Okay, all the changes are available here. The rejection path activities and request closure on script, everything is available here. Now, for example, if I make the changes, okay, and the impersonation, go to workflow editor. right? Now I'll add a new activity here. I'll add a new activity here called set values
It is in publish.
right, correct. Right, check out the workflow. So I'm not able to add the activities because it's in published state. So I have to check it out, then go to the core activities. So I'll add the set values. So I'm saying move RATM to in progress. Okay, move RATM to in progress, and can say stage as fulfillment. So I'm setting the RATM state as work in progress. Okay, submit. So this is the set values, right? So what I will do is, so after begin I joined the L1 approval, right? So what I will do is after begin I'll add the set values. Okay, I'll delete this transition line. I'll add it here. Okay, begin I'll join set values. Now after that I'll join this to L1 approval. Getting it? All the other things are same except this RATM change to work in progress. I added it at the beginning. Now this is checked out by me. Getting it? Checked out by me. Now verify, impersonate to that user again. So this is not published. Okay. Now, as I said, whenever the workflow is in checkout state, the changes will not be applied to other users. Whenever the workflow is edited in checkout state, these changes will not be affected to other users. That means this is a change, latest change. This change will not be affected to other users. So you can see that now. Impersonate which user? This one, right? A1 engineering team member. Raise a request. Go to the portal. So I raised a request. Okay. Now RATM. Open this RATM. Click on show workflow. See here. This is a workflow which got attached, and I don't see the latest changes attached on this workflow. Okay, I don't see the latest changes attached onto this workflow because the workflow is not yet published. The workflow is not yet published. It is in checkout state. So the changes in checkout state will not be affecting to other users. Okay, so I added the activity here, move to in progress, so that is not appearing here. So is that clear, guys? So only when the workflow in published state, the changes will be affected to RATMs raised by other users. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Everybody, very, very important.
Yeah, yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Now, once you publish it, you can see that latest changes are applied to the other users as well. So this is most important. So check out and published. So before we discuss other type of workflow, I mean, almost same, few changes. Any questions, anybody? All right. So we'll take up some use case here. I think I'm going very slow, is it?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Am I going too fast, too slow?
So whatever you are telling now, it's okay for me.
Okay, what about others? I'm going too slow, too fast?
No, sir. No, sir. It's fine, sir.
All right. So next use case. So we created these tasks, right, on the workflow. Catalog task, task 1, task 2, task 3 and 4, and we assigned them manually, right? So now what we want to do is we want to dynamically assign the tasks to some groups. So how do you want to decide that? So we have a variable here called category, right? I have a variable called category. So we can use that category variable. So assign task 1 to the group. So which group? Right, hardware, right? So assign task 1 to the so if you have hardware group, so take the groups and the impersonation first. Go to groups. Do we have hardware? Yes, it is. So assign task 1 to the group hardware if category selected is hardware. Okay, but there are many tasks here. Right, so there are many tasks, task 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what we will do, We'll see for 2. Okay. So task 1 and task 2 will dynamically set the assignment group. Other 2 will leave it as it is. Okay. So task 1 and task 2 will dynamically assign it. And task 3 and 4 will leave it as it is. Let them be assigned manually through the from the workflow itself. So let's hard code them. But task 1 and task 2 will try to make them dynamic assignment. So when category is hardware, okay, assign task 1 to the hardware group and task 2 to the group. Which group? So which group we assigned the task 1? Take that group. Right, A1 engineering team, right? So now okay, A1 engineering team. So you can say this way. If category selected is hardware, assign task 1 and task 1 to hardware and task 2 to this team. If category selected is software, then assign the task one to, do we have software group here? Do we have software group? Yes. Task 2. What is this task 2? Which team it is assigned to? Verify. Database. Okay. So task 2 to the database. Next. Categories network. Right. So network, do we have network team? Right. So assign it to the network team. Take some other group here. Say application development. If category is others, assign task 1 to some cab approval group and then task 2 to some analyst group. Okay, analyst group. So based on category, we want to assign the task 1 and task 2 based on category. So if category selected, right? So if category selected is some valid value, then we should dynamically assign the task to the respective groups. So we'll first mandate this category. Otherwise, sometimes we'll miss it. So make sure that it is mandated. So go to the item, go to category. So this use case is very important actually. So we'll be writing some script as well here. So it is mandatory. Verify. Right, category is mandatory. So now what we will do is we'll go to the workflow. So this is a checked out workflow. So what you can do, publish it. So here we'll copy this workflow. We are not going to change major things here. We'll make few changes to make the task assignment dynamic. So first, so we need not build the workflow right from the scratch again. I'll create another workflow using this workflow. I'll take a copy of this workflow. I'll edit that workflow. We are not going to touch this workflow. So I'll create a copy. So copy, click on copy, give some meaningful name. Workflow for the item. Test item. 9 a.m. underscore 2. Okay. So you can say workflow 2. So this is the copied workflow and you can see it is in checkout state. Now we can edit this workflow. The old workflow is still there. So we'll edit this workflow here. So where all things we need to make changes, task 1 and task 2. Task 1 and task 2 assignment. So now here we need to check whether category is selected with what value. Based on that, we need to automate this assignment on task 1 and task 2. So before this task 1, we should add some condition. We should add some condition to check the category. So which activity I can use to check the condition? Which activity I can use to check the condition?
If condition.
Right, if condition I can use. If condition I can use. We'll see if we can use switch. That is possible. Let's see. If condition can be used. Okay. We'll see if we can use switch. So check the category. Select the variable. Which variable? So our variable is. So first select the catalog item. So test item 9 a.m. Let's go 2. So select the category. Right. So this is the category. Submit. So now I can see the activity is added here, switch activity. Observe carefully here. So this is a switch activity. So I'll try to expand this. So after this, so RATM approval action. So I'll place this switch. Okay, switch like this. Getting it. So now what I can do here is so I have different inputs here, outputs here, hardware, software, network, and others. So at a time we can only select one value, right, from the catalog item. Either we can select hardware, software, network, or others. We cannot select more than one value. So at one point of time, user can select only one value. Say for example, if the hardware category selected is hardware. So what you can do? We'll try to take some run script here. Okay, we'll try to take some run script here. Okay, check the category and then get the group based on category. Okay, get the group based on category. So here run script is the area where I can write some script and then get some result out of this particular script. So I have to write some script here. So observe carefully. I'll define one variable here called workflow.scratchpad. Dot the variable name, that is group. Okay, workflow.scratchpad.group is a variable. So we'll talk about this workflow.scratchpad. What is the use of it? So workflow.scratchpad.group is equals to, I'll set with some assignment group here onto this variable, but that assignment group should be based upon the category. So here so if current dot variables dot, I'm checking the category. Okay, category equal to, so what's the backend name of the choice hardware from the category? It is hardware. So if zoom it, So here current dot variables dot category equal to hardware. That means if the category selected is hardware, then I'm setting something like this: workflow dot scratchpad dot group 1 is equals to. So if it is hardware, we need to set the group first task group as hardware, second task group as A1 engineering. So go to groups, hardware. So this is the hardware, right? So copy the SysID of this group record, set it here, right? So this is for the group 1. Similarly, use other variable workflow dot scratchpad dot group 2 is equals to, what is the other group? A1 engineering, right? So this is the one. Copy SysID, give it here. Getting it now. So this is for the hardware. You can also use, so you have to check other cases, right? If category selected is software, network or others. So you can use else if to check the category. Okay. So else if current dot variables category equal to software. So if I'm checking for the software. So if it is software, copy the same script, use it here, but you have to set it with different sysids of the groups. So here, if it is software, the group should be software. Go to groups, check for software. Copy the sysid. So set the first group 1 variable as this. Next group 2 as, what is the other group? Database. So search for database. Copy sysid. Right? Next. Else if, say current dot variables dot category equals to network. Where is it? Network. Then if it is network, what are you supposed to set? Copy the same. If it is network, set with the network group. Copy sysid. Next group 2. What is a group? Application development. Copy sysid. Right? Else if, right? So if it is others, right? So it is a backend name for others. It is others only. Others with what group? CAB approval. Copy sysid. Next, what is a group 2? Analyst. Copy. Okay. So this is what. So we are checking for. I don't think like we need a switch case as well here. Directly we can use run script directly. We don't need switch case as well. So if category is hardware, we are setting these variables workflow.scratchpad group 1, group 2 with respective group sysids. So based on the category, we are setting these two variables, group 1 and group 2 scratchpad variables with this respective sysids of the groups. Now submit. Can delete this switch activity, not required, because we are checking within the run script itself. Okay. So what you can do is can directly join the approval action output to the input of run script, and output of run script and join it as input to the task 1 creation. Getting it? So task 1 and task 2 should be now used to set the assignment group dynamically. So go to task 1. So now this is a task 1, and here you can see, please go on mute. Right. So you can see, so task values from fields and fulfillment group, you have set it already. So now come here, scroll all the way down, say advanced, right? Say advanced. So remove this group here, fulfillment group here. So set the assignment group here directly. So through the script, you have to set the assignment group dynamically here in the task 1. So syntax is already given here for you. Task means the RATM, not RATM, SC task, sorry. Task means SC task. SC task dot field name equal to right side, whatever the value you want to set it, you can set it. So, but this is a format, task dot the field name. So now here we are setting the assignment group, right? So say task dot assignment underscore group. Why I've taken assignment underscore group? Because if you go to the task, sc underscore task dot form. So if you go to the task, see assignment group is there here. So take the backend name of this field. So it is assignment underscore group. So you have to take that here. So assignment underscore group is equals to, so we already declared workflow dot scratchpad, right? So same variable you should use here. Workflow dot scratchpad dot group 1. Workflow dot scratchpad dot group 1. So we are setting the assignment group of the catalog task with what value? Scratchpad group 1 variable value. So which we already set it through the run script. Getting it? So we are getting this value from the previous run script which we used. So click on update. Similarly, task 2. So remove this fulfillment group here. Go to advanced. can say task dot assignment underscore group is equals to workflow dot scratch pad dot group 2. So I'll tell you what is the use of this workflow dot scratch pad variable. Okay. Now minimize this. Right. So here in the run script, we are using workflow.scratchpad. Workflow.scratchpad and some variable name, same across all the other conditions. So what is workflow.scratchpad? It is basically a variable using which you can pass values from one activity to other activity. So workflow.scratchpad is a variable using which you can pass the values from one activity to other activity. So now we are able to declare scratchpad variable within this run script activity, and these values, right side values, we are able to pass to the other activities like task 1 and task 2 using the scratchpad, same scratchpad variable. See here, workflow.scratchpad, same variable I'm using it here so that the values are passed. So interview question here, most popular interview question, how can you pass values from one activity to other activity within a workflow? The answer is we have to use workflow.scratchpad variable in order to pass the values. So from here, we are able to pass values to task 1 and task 1 and task 2. There is no other way without using scratchpad. You can pass variables. There is no other method except using scratchpad variable. Getting it? So let's try this. So publish it. Erase the request. So category as hardware, for example, OS type Windows. Right. So these two groups I'm giving. Order now. Submit. Now go to this request. Open the request. Go to the RATM. Right. So verify. Right. So we are supposed to attach the latest. We're supposed to attach the latest workflow. So this is our workflow, right? So let's replace this. So we'll have to use this workflow on the item. So our catalog item still has old workflow, right? So we have to replace it. So I missed it. So we'll have to re-add it. So go to your item. So here, this is the old workflow, right? Replace it. Save. So again, raise a request. Again, raise a request. So this is a request, right? Copy. So you can click on show workflow. So now we can see the latest workflow, that is workflow 2. Now approve this approval request. So it is posted for L2 approval. So task 1 is created. So to which group task 1 should be created? So we selected category as hardware. So task 1 should be assigned to hardware. So it is assigned to hardware. So it is working as expected. I'm closing task 1. So task 2 should be created. And to which group task 2 should be assigned to? As per our use case, A1 engineering. So A1 engineering. Getting it? So that means assignment is happening dynamically based upon the category selected here. Is that clear? Everybody clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think with this we are good on the workflows. Any questions? So same for the other categories. You select any other category,